Peace. What's up, family? Today we're going to talk about the unfulfilled woman. I don't know how I'm going to title this just yet, but we're going to talk about the unfulfilled woman. Unfulfilled men too. We're just going to talk about unfulfillment in its entirety. That's what we'll do. But before I do that, class number 28, I know it wasn't exactly on time, but it is available now. If you have the password and the login, you can log in on eddiefuse.com/members only and view it. Or if you're a Diamond member on Patreon, you can view it on Patreon. So get that Diamond membership. It's a great class. Class number 29, The Pitfalls of Being a Promiscuous Male, is coming up soon as well. That is in the works. I'm going to make sure I have that out within the next 7 to 10 days. You guys have my word on that. You know, I've stated already that a lot of changes has been happening in my life, and so just keeping up with that old pattern, you know, I have to get back on course now. But a lot of changes have been happening. No excuse, guys. You know, I have to be responsible, but there's no but. So forgive me for that, guys. But I'm here. Everything is getting caught up. The class is good, and the promiscuous male class is going to be a banger. I'm really looking forward to recording that one, finishing it, and just everything that comes up in that class, you know. So make sure you guys sign up for that Patreon membership on Diamond membership, or if you've already paid for it and haven't gotten it yet, email me. I think I've sent it to everybody already, but if I missed you, email me and I'll get that to you as well. So anyway, guys, today we're going to talk about unfulfillment, unfulfilled women, unfulfilled men, and we'll see where that takes us. The first thing that I was thinking about, I was having a conversation with somebody about selfies, right? There was this girl, and it was on Clubhouse, I believe. I haven't been on Clubhouse all week. I might get on today and just see what people are up to. But there was this group on Clubhouse, and there was this very beautiful woman that came into the room. And when I looked at her Instagram, it was about like 50 different selfies. Car selfies, mirror selfies, tall mirror selfies, and everything else. It was pretty much to just say, hey, look at me. I'm beautiful. And it was very disheartening to see that. And I got to thinking, like, what is a selfie really? Like, in your opinion, what's a selfie? When somebody snaps a picture of themselves and they upload it, what does that mean? You know, what does it mean? What are they looking for? What is the objective there? Like, what's the purpose of it? I think it's really important to begin to investigate why we do a lot of the things that we do. Pardon me, I'm looking for this thing I wrote down. I'm looking for something I wrote down about the selfie. But anyway, what I came to realize is that women that post lots of selfies are typically broken on the inside, right? It's a way to say, hey, I'm looking for some attention right now. You know, what I found odd as well. So I had started following a lot of different, because I wanted some balance on my timeline. I have a new Instagram, by the way, called New Eddie Fuse. But I have a new Twitter. It's just Eddie Fuse. I deleted all my old social media and I remade it brand new, the same way I did my YouTube. The Instagram will be changed to Eddie Fuse soon, but right now it's New Eddie Fuse, Twitter Eddie Fuse. I don't have a Facebook yet. But anyway, so what I began to look at and think about was, like, what message is a woman trying to get across when she's posting lots of pictures of just herself? Like, what is she trying to send? Right? And maybe she doesn't even know because she's not thinking about it. It's just unconscious. She sees other people doing it and she's doing it. But what's the underlying reasoning there? What is the underlying purpose of the selfies that are being uploaded? To me, it pretty much says, hey, look at me. I want your attention. I need your attention. Or there is something in my life or I'm not fulfilled. I'm not whole. And so I want to post random pictures of what I look like today to complete strangers so that they could make me feel more whole, even if it's just temporary. And a lot of us do this, but I find women do it more than men because it's masqueraded in a form of love, right? We are all seeking something, right? Everybody has some type of ambition, or they have something that they're seeking that they think once they obtain or get this thing, they're then going to feel better. Some people have ambitions. Oh man, I want to drive a Lamborghini and I want to live in a nice house. I want to be able to buy my mother a house, and I want to be able to buy my family members cars and my friends cars and give to the poor. I want to be able to do these things. And because these things are so far out of their reach, they feel like that's the key to their happiness. The key to their happiness is to just reach that place that they have not reached yet. It's to hit that level that they have not hit yet. And if they could just hit that level, then fulfillment will come. Right? A woman may say, if I could just get a boyfriend that loves me for me, because the last guy didn't love me for me, if I could just get that boyfriend, then I'll be happy. If I could just get this guy to marry me, if I could just get him to put a ring on my finger, then I'll be happy. A lot of women get into a state where they just want to have a child, right? And men get to this place too, but women a lot more frequently because they're the carriers. They get to a place where they begin to desire to have a baby. And they think that the unfulfillment that they feel is just because they don't have something to love. But if they just had something that they could love, then they'll be happy. And then they have the child, whether it's a boy or a girl, and they realize that that just wasn't it. There's still something else missing. Some women that are a bit more responsible, that have that feeling, they'll just go buy a puppy. They said, I'll get a puppy because a puppy is something that I can love, and it's not quite the level of responsibility of a child. I'll just get a puppy. And then they get the puppy and they realize, that just wasn't it. You got the women that say, I want to be like a man. If I could just make equal pay to a man, then I'll be fulfilled. If I could just get my degree, then I'll be fulfilled. If I could just have my own business, then I'll be fulfilled. You have the men that think, if I could just get that woman right there, then I'll be fulfilled. If I could just, make this amount of money, then I'll be fulfilled. If I could just read enough and study enough, and this is all vain, right? And there's a book in the Bible where King Solomon talks about how all of our pursuits are just vanity, right? Because when does it end? Who has learned so much that there wasn't more to learn? Who has loved so much that there weren't still more people that they can love, or that they didn't still have more love to give, that the person that they were loving could not receive, right? Who has bought the Porsche or the Lamborghini and said, all right, now I got the Porsche, I never need another new car again. Now that I slept with that woman, I never need to sleep with another woman again. Who has drinking the bottle and said, now that I got drunk that one last time, I never need to drink again. Now that I've smoked that cigarette, I've never need to smoke a cigarette again. Who has reached the end of their flesh? When you get hungry, you eat, then you're satisfied, and then you know what happens? You get hungry again. When you drink, you are thirsty, you satisfy and quench your thirst. And then when you are finished quenching your thirst, you feel good. A few hours pass and you're thirsty again. This is one of the beauties of the intelligent design that can only come from a creator. Is that we all have this flesh that can only be temporarily satisfied. We all have a spirit that isn't satisfied by the things of our flesh. So no matter how much we satisfy our temporary cravings, our thirst, no matter how many times we ejaculate or have this release or sleep with this woman, it starts over again. When do you reach the end of that? You never do. That's why I told that story of Big Daddy Kane. When Big Daddy Kane said, when he ended up getting married. And the Big Daddy Kane, he was a big rapper in the mid to late 90s, and he was like, he was a symbol of handsome masculinity, and all the women wanted him, and he had all the women. He had his picking. But he ended up getting married, I believe, toward the near end, but the height of his career. He was still Big Daddy Kane. It wasn't like he couldn't get a woman. You got guys, it wasn't like he couldn't continue in that lifestyle if he wanted to. But he said that a pimp had told him something, and that made him want to get married when he realized what it meant. He said, a pimp told me the best woman you ever had is the woman you never had. And when he first told me that, I never knew what that meant. But once I learned what that meant later on in my life, I got married. And I decided to settle down. Because the reality is, the best woman you ever had is the one you haven't gotten yet. The best meal you ever ate is the meal that is the next meal. The best high you've ever had is the next high. Right? The best feelings you ever gotten is the ones you haven't gotten yet, because that's why you pursue them. If you knew that you could never eat food that good again, you'd probably just eat fruits and vegetables and wouldn't be concerned. If you knew that you would never, you understand what I'm saying? If you truly knew that it didn't get any better than the woman you just found, if you knew this was it, you'd probably be more inclined to relax. But what happens is we get into this mind frame and this pattern where the best we've ever had is the one that we're still chasing, because it's only the best because we haven't obtained it yet. So it becomes this pursuit. It becomes this thing that we're running after and running after and running after. And once we catch it, it's no longer cool because it's caught. The cool one is the one that's currently running away. So we have to drop the one in our hands and go chase the next one. Because what made it so cool is that you weren't up and close and personal enough with it to really see it for what it was. So it was evading you. But now that you've caught it, you're looking at it and you're saying, wow, this thing is just as flawed as me. Matter of fact, it's a little more flawed than me. And that's why I was able to catch it. Right? And then you say, nah, I need something better than myself. So you go back chasing again. And then the woman or the thing, whatever it may be in your life, that's looking the best or better than the last one is only really looking better than the last one because it's too far away for you to truly see it. You ever heard of that thing called a Monet? A Monet is a woman that looks really beautiful from far away, and when she gets up close, you realize she's not very beautiful at all. Now, if you had the ability to get a woman's phone number from 100 feet away, like just some kind of way you could just magically get it, you'd probably have a lot of women that you're not attracted to's numbers in your phone. But when you get up and close to them, you realize that she wasn't really that beautiful like I thought. When she smiled, I saw her teeth, and it threw everything off. Or she had this little mole and I didn't see it from far away, but now that I see it, now that we're up close and personal, now that we're talking and I'm smelling her breath, I'm smelling her scent, and I'm looking at her skin close up, she's not quite what I thought she was. Right? So we all run that pattern in different things. So a lot of the times the women we chase, the things we chase, the cars we chase, the ambitions that we chase are only pursuits because we're not close enough to them yet to see that they're not as good as we thought they were. And if you would get close enough to see that it's not what it really was, you would stop. But what we don't realize is nothing is as good as we thought it was when we get close up to it. Because when we're far away, all we have is a projection. And the projection that we have is a result of the fantasies that we've created in our minds that have propelled us to chase it. So now that so our perception is influenced by our own mental fantasies at that point. But once we catch it, the fantasy goes out the window because we don't need it anymore because we have it. And we realize that it could never possibly live up to the magical fantasy we have in our head because this is a earth. This is a real thing. This is a flawed thing. But in our mind, it's perfect. Because if we didn't think it was good, we wouldn't chase after it. So the chase ends when you get it because the fantasy ends. because reality hits. So, there's this old thing. I know I said I was going to talk about women, but I'm talking about all of us, but I'm talking about men right now. You know what dogs do? Dogs chase their tails. They'll run in circles and circles and circles and circles and circles and circles and chase their tail. And every once in a while, they catch it. And you know what happens when they catch it? They're like, okay, I caught it. And then they drop their tail out of their mouth, and you know what they do? They start chasing their tails again. So I just want to ask you, are you chasing your own tail? Or are you just chasing tail? All puns intended, right? Are you chasing your own tail? And when you catch your tail, what do? Do you put it down and chase it again? And how long are you going to do this for? Are you going to chase your tail until you're a 95-year-old man? And what of true value are you going to receive from that? Let's just say you managed to be with every woman on the planet Earth. Then what? Once you've caught all of them, then what do? You've slept with every woman, every woman on the earth, every available woman on the earth you've slept with. Then what? What do you do then? What's next? Do you move to men, animals, toys, and dolls? Like, do you ever reach the end of your flesh? In the endless pursuits of your flesh are what leads to the destruction of man. Because that craving only gets stronger. The more you do drugs, the addiction gets stronger. The more you chase after things, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And eventually, you no longer can satisfy it with the thing that satisfied it before, because the flesh is now craving something greater to make it feel the same way. And that's in anything: drugs, women, money, whatever. Now you need more of it than you had before. Now you need the bigger house, the bigger car to get that same feeling again. That's going to flee, and you're going to have to chase something even bigger. So you're going to start moving on to more and more wicked things. It's going to go from wicked thing to wicked thing to wicked thing, and before you know it, you're in a hole that only God can help you out of. And that unfulfillment that we all feel, that what we're truly chasing is a relationship with God through his son, Jesus Christ. Because he is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can come to God unless they go through Jesus Christ. That is important, because if you're not praying in the name of Jesus, you don't know God. You may know a God, because there are a lot of deities and beings and supernatural entities that can play the role of a God in your life. There's tons of them. But the only way you know the God is to know his son that died for you and rose for you so that you could be saved, right? So my message of today in its entirety is, when are you going to be fulfilled? And what can fulfill you? When people watch porn, they start with real basic porn. Any porn will do. Then after a while, they're starting to get into all kinds of vile and disgusting porn, right? Before they know it, they're looking at all kind of, ridiculous kinds of porn, and they don't realize where it started. Now they're having to search for 30 minutes just to find a clip that can satisfy them. Because once you attempt to satisfy your flesh, and I was watching porn when I was younger. I watched everything. First, it was just beautiful women. Then it went to BBWs. Then it went to mature and older women. Then it got all just wanting to see different things, right? Now, by granted, I haven't looked at porn in 7 years. 6-7 years, and I have no interest in it anymore. But my point is, once you get on a pursuit of something, it starts off innocent, and then it changes into something evil. Because you're pursuing your flesh, and the pursuits of the flesh are endless. 120 years is not enough to reach the endless pursuits of your flesh. So when do you stop and realize that you're looking for something a little bit deeper to satisfy you? You're looking for a relationship with God. When you have that relationship, you feel fulfilled. I didn't have that relationship the way I should have until recently. Before that, I was chasing women every single day. Since that, I haven't had a desire to chase a woman since, because I feel fulfilled. Now I'm trying to pursue and chase a better relationship with God. But that's an eternal relationship, because it carries on after this life. The pursuits of our flesh in this life stop once this life is over. We can't take it with us. But that relationship with God, you will have to take with you on to the next one. You will have to face him and give an account for the choices that you made in this life. Are you prepared to do that? If you're not, I'm encouraging everybody that's rocking with me to get prepared, because you see what's happening in the world. Change is here, and more change is coming. All right? So that's my message of the day, guys. Peace, family. I love you guys. You guys know where I stand. I'm coming with a wholesome message now. I want to come with something a lot more positive and fruitful to really elevate the minds, bodies, and souls of mankind. I'm pushing myself. I know I had a lot of tardiness and lateness with the classes of old, but now we're back on track because I'm doing it for my Creator, not for myself, not for my own pursuits anymore. I'm doing it for my Creator. So that's where I'm at, guys. Peace and love, joy, blessings, and happiness and strength to everybody out there. If anybody has any questions about God or about relationship with God or how I came to this relationship, email me. I'll get back to you. Also, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe, hit the like button if you haven't. Drop a comment in the comment sections, because once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I am going to go live and tell my complete story. Whenever they let me go live. I don't. At some point, I can't go live until 1,000, I think. But once I can go live, I will. And I'm going to tell a real full story. Maybe not all of it, but a full, complete story and timeline on my life. And a lot of things will make sense to you guys about just the videos and the timings. And a lot of things are going to make sense once I do that. But anyway, peace and love. Enjoy, guys. Hit that like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Just say anything, but just say something. Let's get this channel going so we can get these lives going and reach more people with the truth. Peace and love and joy, happiness. And peace.